Welcome to another video, guys. Guess I turned out right that we're gonna be seeing the nerfs on this Thursday, so in this video we're gonna check out all of the nerfs that are gonna be coming out really soon to us. And I definitely think they're gonna actually make the game a lot better. If you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's check out the patch.
You are not prepared!
The patch notes come from the Bliss forum, so it looks a little bit wonkier than usual, but still, we can get the gist of it. It's gonna be landing, like I said, on October 26th, which is Thursday, and it's gonna be happening at the usual time. But yeah, Druid is definitely getting smashed really hard, as well as Yogg, and also Prison Breaker is taking a big hit too. Tony and Jailer are also getting nerfed to the ground, which is kinda sucky, because in the end of the day they're legendary cards, they should be holding more value than a freaking common, but if you can't nerf it for it not to be breaking the game, might as well make it obsolete instead, I guess. The first nerf is going to be Embrace of Nature, which is going from 1 mana up to 2 mana, and honestly that's kind of a huge nerf because that's basically doubling the cost of the cards. But it's definitely not going to be stopping Druids from still running it in both their most popular decks. Embrace of Nature is a very strong card, and at least it's going to take them 4 mana now to actually pull something, and they can no longer just hero power on turn 2 or on turn 3 and then still play it, so that is definitely going to be helping in toning down Druid. The other nerf is also to Rake, and again, same treatment, basically doubling up the mana cost, and honestly I'm not against that. Like, it's such a strong card right now. We still have 0 mana bounce in the game, so you can effectively have a 2 mana still, 4 damage to 2 different minions, which is kind of huge for the early game. Like, against Druids, normally you just want to tempo out really quick, so that they can't really clear you and also gain a ton of armor, draw a ton of cards and all of that nasty stuff. So doubling up the mana here at least doesn't allow them to do all sorts of other things, like, let's say, discount their hand and whatnot, draw a bunch of cards, or just gain armor, you know? So again, both Embrace and Rake getting nerfed like this, I think are gonna help the class see a little bit more reasonable win rates. And even though Druid right now is definitely not a simple class to climb with, God knows it's absolutely disgusting playing against it if the person against you actually knows what they're doing. Prison Breaker is the other big card that's actually getting nerfed here, and the nerf is pretty severe, honestly. Like, this thing being able to deal 3 damage AoE and also going face was extremely powerful, sitting at only 4 mana, and even the requirement for it wasn't even that big for most classes like Druids. Druid is basically laughing at this, Hunter was doing this reliably well, and plenty of other classes were utilizing this fairly good. But yeah, now this is only going to be dealing 2 damage, which is a huge nerf. Like, that's a 33% reduction, and a lot of very core minions, very impactful minions, are sitting at 3 health, whereas at 2 health you're going to be able to clear a lot less, and this being a neutral removal tool, like, that was just huge. It was a no-brainer that this card is just way too powerful for what it is. Like, 4 mana neutral card AoE, that's just gonna fit in every single class, every single expansion, and it's just way too powerful for it to be left alone like this. So toning it down to 2 damage, it's a huge nerf. Honestly, maybe if this went up to 5 mana, that might have been a bit more acceptable for the card to actually remain playable. Now, I'm not sure if people are actually gonna bother with it anymore. Like, only 2 damage, it's just a major reduction. Rogues can still Shadow Step play it again, but that's only 4 damage now instead of 6, so that's still huge. Druids, they lack removal in general, and Prison Breaker was actually a great way for them to be doing that, so I'm really not sure if Prison Breaker is just gonna remain playable like this, so I guess time will tell. The other huge nerf here is the Yogg, and thank God, because Yogg was just an absolutely crazy card. Druids were literally dropping this as soon as turn 5, and that was not fun. But yeah, from now on, Yogg is gonna be costing 9 mana flat. You're no longer gonna be discounting it through casting spells, and I'm definitely happy that this is happening to the cards. I'm not sure if many classes are going to be using it as much now. I guess control classes are going to be able to utilize it, because sitting at 9 mana, ain't nobody got time for that in any other case. But yeah, control classes, Druid still with the ramp, should be still able to utilize Yogg-Saron fairly well for the foreseeable future. Also, the other effect that's happening to Yogg, it's going to be casting 2 random spells after you use an ability, and you guys know I'm very much against random stuff like that, but I guess if we need to retain the Yogg-Saron flavor, this makes some sense. I'm still, like, it's disgusting if games get decided by something absolutely random like this, but this is the Hearthstone we all know and love, I guess, so we'll just have to get by like that. People are no longer going to be running this in Hunter, that's for sure. Druid, I still think different variants of Druid are going to be able to hold on to it, and control classes are no strangers to using 9 mana cards, and with the abilities still remaining the way they are, like the Mask Hysteria not affecting Yogg, that would have been another change that could have definitely toned down the play rate, but sitting at 9 mana, I think it's going to be a far more fair card to be facing, because you can't play it on turn 5 at least. Well, Druids still can if they ram crazy fast, but that's not really happening all that often. So all around, I think the change is just good, and it doesn't completely kill the cards like it did this guy. Jailer, honestly, is getting completely destroyed, like, Battlecry destroy this card, basically, this is a huge nerf, like, from here on out, only the Jailer is gonna be immune, which is kinda cool and all, like, having a 10/10 immune on the board, yeah, it's kinda cool, but I think this basically renders this card absolutely useless. I don't think anybody can really run this guy at 10 mana, realistically speaking, anymore, so kind of a lazy nerf. It makes the card just feel absolutely horrible. Good thing about it, this was from a mini set, so people that got the mini set have the option to actually disenchant this for the full 1600 dust, so that's pretty nice. But if you actually open this as your legendary, that's gonna be an absolutely disgusting pull for you after the refund window closes, at least. So I'm really not a big fan of absolutely destroying cards like this. Like, for me right now, this card is literally unplayable. Like, it's gonna be an okay discover and whatnot, but having a legendary only playable as a discover, that's just wrong. And the other absolutely destroyed legendary is Tony, King of Piracy here, and he is not a part of the mini set, so there's that too. But again, it's an absolutely destroyed card. It got the Elutia treatment, and also the mana got increased. I'm really not sure why that was warranted. Like, wasn't it bad enough just denying the control aspect of the card? Like, why did we need this to go to 7 mana? It's basically, even at 5 mana, it was still, in my book, a dead card. Like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but would anybody in their right mind play this if it was still 5 mana, but with this effect? Like, we don't care about the opponent's deck, we never did. We cared about fatiguing them, we cared about stealing their deck. So I think this is another pretty lazy and also pretty severe nerf. Like, why did we have to bump the mana among other things? Like, stop, it's already dead. So yeah, this is another horrible card to be pulling here on out from your packs. Getting this as a legendary is going to be an absolutely miserable experience, so I don't know. I don't think this was the right way to go. I mean, in the end of the day, Tony was such a very disgusting, disruptive card. Nobody liked losing to this thing, so honestly, you can say that the card was a mistake altogether, and if you can't fix it with finesse, might as well just destroy it completely, so enjoy the dust for those who have it, and sorry for those who pull it later. I'm also pretty happy to see that the anomalies are going to be a lot less disgusting from here on out, because we're no longer going to be seeing these free anomalies, and honestly, they were the biggest offenders. Like, whenever a player ends their turn and unspent mana, get a coin, allowing some classes to do absolutely broken things super fast, like probably rogues, because they love gaining extra stuff like that. The first minion played on each player's turns also costs 1 less. That was pretty disgusting, and the same for the first spell. Like, imagine if you're playing something like, let's say, Plague Decay, and you're playing against the druid that gets the first spell they cast costs 1 less. Like, amazing. You literally run 2 spells, and the druid literally runs 20. So it was pretty silly for something like this to ever be introduced in competitive Hearthstone. Like, seeing this in games above Diamonds, and even in top 1000 Legend, it's just an absolute joke, and it made the game feel like a tavern brawl in my eyes. Like, I was never happy seeing Anomaly, helping me or not. It was just a silly experience, because Standard should not be a place for tavern brawl, like fun little ideas like this. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy for this change to get implemented. in the next patch. So yeah, these are the most game impacting anomalies, especially when they disproportionately affect one player over the other based on their deck choices. Could not agree more. They literally never should have been in. But yeah, those are the nerfed cards. Pretty severe ones. Druid is getting murdered, obviously, and out of all of these, I think Yogg got off easy. The Jailer and Tony basically got murdered. Prison Breaker got definitely slapped very hard, and Druid altogether definitely took a massive hit, so we should be seeing a lot less of the class, and that's honestly a good thing. It was getting very old very fast. And Druid literally had 4 different archetypes that were working very well right now, like real well. And with Ram Druid going well above 60%, even in top 1000, that was just not fun altogether. And even the decks that were supposed to be hard counters for it were still falling flat in a lot of cases just because the Druid does absolutely disgusting things as soon as turn 3 and 4, and that was just not a fun Hearthstone experience. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with these nerfs? Do you have better propositions, how some of them might have happened? But yeah, I might give you guys some ideas for good decks to be playing after the nerfs drop on Thursday, so check out the channel tomorrow probably around this time. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, a like and a subscribe would definitely help, and don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.